Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3.
Need a cameraman. Eclipse.
Huh?
Eclipse. An eclipse.
Oh.
How you been?
Good. Maybe time a little bit.
How are you?
Get her going. Someone's got to do it. Might as well be
someone who knows what
best
to
of
do.
the best. You know.
Quite the setup here.
That's right. Lost traffic, everybody's How you been?
Nice. Nice. Well, I'll let you be. Christmas, I can tell you.
That's a nice job. Tell you what. Last year when you took it over, great day. Great day. We'll see you at the gym problem.
I'm an official player. My wife coaches the NBA, so I said I'd go support families first.
Yes. Stop talking to me and get going. See you later, Brian. How's it going? Good. How are you? Are we up?
We're good. Yep.
I went to the website and there's not a link for it. I went to your website and there's not a link for it. Oh, there it is. So I can start talking.
Good evening. Welcome to the PSP Network live stream broadcast of tonight's swimming duel between the Minot High Magicians and the visiting Jamestown Blue Jays. We will begin the swimming portion in just a few minutes. Looks like the boys are lining up for the national anthem. We'll have that, and then we'll get right into the swimming. We'll start off with the 200-yard medley relay. I'd like to thank everybody once again for joining PSP Network on this live stream broadcast, and thanks to our sponsors for bringing this meet for you tonight. I didn't bring in my sponsor sheet.
Sounds good, looks good.
Okay.
I'll go grab it here real quick.
All right, our swim meet will be starting shortly. Waiting for the national anthem to be played tonight. I'm your host, Eric Schaefer. I'll be with you through the duration of tonight's dual swim meet. After the swim meet, you can stay on the PSP network and watch the Minot High boys basketball team take on the Bismarck Demons. Nick Holberg will have the call on the basketball game after the swim meet. Once again, thank you for joining us. Looks like the boys getting all lined up. And we'll be swimming in no time. Gotta go. All right, here's Coach Soper.
We are going to have our national anthem sung by Senior Carter Thomas. So if you would please rise, remove any headgear, silence your phone, and we'll have the anthem sung by Carter Thomas.
Here's the national anthem, Senior Carter Thomas. A nice round of applause for senior Carter Thomas performing the national anthem prior to tonight's dual meet with the Jamestown Blue Jays. We will get started with the swimming right away, where we will have the boys 200-yard medley relay. We will have 2 heats of the medley relay this evening. In heat number 1, lane 2 will be the Magicians. This will be the divers relay. This will be Cody Kranz, Aiden Stewart, Ty Ross, and Jaron Coombs. In lane 3 will be Magicians F. That's Logan Greenlee, Tyler Sherlock, Micah Beers, and Lawson Shanklin. In lane 4 will be Magicians D, Garth Shanklin, Andrew Swartout, Tyler Hills, and Gannon Cowper. In lane 5 will be Magicians E, Justin Moldenauer, Chance Thompson, Trevor Ricks, and Jamison Donahoe. And in lane 6 is Magicians Team G, Luke Peterson, Carter Withers, Kellen Anderson, and David McConville. As those swimmers prepare and head on over to the blocks, we'll get this heat 1 of 2 for the 200 medley relay underway. All right, those relay teams in Heat 1 are making their way to the blocks. We'll get this underway shortly. This is the medley relay. First leg will be the backstroke, followed by the breaststroke, then the butterfly, and finally 50 yards of the freestyle. First heat will be all Magician teams. All right, here is Heat 1 of the 200-yard medley relay. Your starter for tonight's swim meet is Todd King. So lane 2 is Cody Kranz. Lane 3 will be Logan Greenlee. Lane 4 is Garth Shanklin. Lane 5 is Justin Moldenauer. And lane 6 is Luke Peterson. These folks are doing the backstroke. As I pointed out earlier, lane 2 is all of the 4 divers putting together a relay for today's meet. After the first turn, we've got Garth Shanklin, about a half body length over Cody Kranz during the backstroke. Then Justin Moldenauer out in lane 5. They're coming in for the exchange. In the pool in lane 4 is swimming the breaststroke now is Andrew Swartout. In lane 2, it's Aiden Stewart. In lane 3, it's Tyler Sherlock. In lane 5 will be Chance Thompson. And in lane 6 will be Carter Withers. Swartout out in lane 4 is keeping that lead for the for his relay team. Aiden Stewart in lane 2. Chugging right along. They're making the exchange into the pool for the butterfly now. In lane 4 will be Tyler Hills. In lane 2, it will be Ty Ross. In the pool out in lane 5 will be Trevor Ricks. In lane 3, entering the pool now is Micah Beers. And in lane 6, entering the pool was Kellen Anderson. Okay, the butterfly coming to the end here. Making this final exchange in lane 4, it'll be Gannon Cowper. Swimming the freestyle in lane 2, it'll be Jared Coons. Lane 5, that is Jamison Donahoe. Entering the pool right now in lane 6 is David McConville. Cowper brings it in lane 4. Finishing up in lane 3 will be Lawson Shanklin. And we still have a swimmer out in lane 6. That is David McConville. As David finishes up his leg, we'll get you a look at the scoreboard so you can see those times. It was Minot D in lane 4 at 2:07:06, followed by Minot H at 2:14:86. Then it was Minot F at 2:15:01. That was Minot E. Minot F at 2:27:74, followed by Minot G at 2:52:21. Members of that winning relay team for that heat are Garth Shanklin, Andrew Swartout, Tyler Hills, and Gannon Cowper. Now we'll be moving on to Heat 2. In lane 2 will be Magicians Team C. It'll be Alex Moe, Carter Thomas, Matt Bowen, and Carter Larson. In lane 3 will be Magicians B. Griffin Osborne, Tristan Lays, Will Thomas, and Kaylin Hill. In lane 4 will be Magicians A. Grant Schaefer, Alex King, Brian Hubbard, and Jackson Ranke. Lane 5 will be the Blue Jays. Team A, Noah Haglund, Bodie Haglund, Garrett Wright, and Teddy Solinsky. And in lane 6 will be the Blue Jays B, Nicholas Olson, Ethan Eigel, Luke Plagans, and Joshua Molina. Heat 2 is on the blocks. All right, the backstrokers are in the pool, ready for the start of Heat 2 of the 200-yard medley relay. Heat 2 is underway. In lane 2 for the Magicians, Alex Moe. In lane 3, Griffin Osborne. In lane 4, Grant Schaefer. In lane 5 for the Blue Jays is Noah Haglund. In lane 6 for the Blue Jays is Nicholas Olson. Noah Haglund with about a half body length over Grant Schaefer in this first leg. Entering the pool for the Blue Jays in lane 6 is Bodie Haglund, and lane 4 for the Magicians is Alex King. Very good exchange for Schaefer and King there. In lane 3 for Minot is Tristan Lays. In lane 2 for Minot is Carter Thomas. And out in lane 6 for the Blue Jays is Ethan Eigel. Making the exchange into the butterfly, that'll be Ryan Hubbard for the Magicians and Garrett Wright for the Blue Jays. In lane 3 for the Magicians is Will Thomas. In lane 2 for the Magicians is Matt Bowen. Lane 6 for the Blue Jays will be Luke Flagans. Hubbard keeps the lead that King took over in the breaststroke. Now in the pool for the Magicians is Jackson Ranke, swimming the freestyle. Next to him for Jamestown is Teddy Solinsky. In lane 3 for the Magicians is Kaylin Hill. In lane 2 for the Magicians is Carter Larson. Ranke touches in for the Minot Team A in first place for this relay with a time of 1:47.30, followed by the Jamestown Team A at 1:48.21. We'll then have Minot's Team B at 1:59.83, and then Minot's Team C at 2:05.18. Jamestown Team B just finishing up. Here's a look at the board. Once again, that was Minot in 1:47.3, followed by Jamestown in 1:48.21. Then it was Minot's B at 1:59.83, followed by Minot's C at 2:05.19, and Jamestown's B at 2:17.46. Members of the winning relay for the Magicians were Grant Schaefer, Alex King, Ryan Hubbard, and Jackson Ranke. We'll move now to the 200-yard freestyle. We will have 2 heats of the 200-yard freestyle tonight. State qualifying time for this event as an individual is 2 minutes 5.76 seconds. We will have 4 swimmers in Heat 1. In lane 3 for Minot will be Briar Samuelson. In lane 4 for Minot will be Jacob Height. In lane 5 for Jamestown will be Robert Walton. And in lane 6 for Jamestown will be Will Nelson. Looks like we've got our officials in place. Get this 200 freestyle underway. This is Heat 1 of the 200-yard freestyle. In lane 3 for the Magicians, Briar Samuelson. Lane 4 is Jacob Height. Lane 5 for the Blue Jays is Robert Walton. And lane 6 for the Blue Jays is Will Nelson. State qualifying time is 2 minutes 5.76 seconds. They will swim 8 lengths of the pool. Coming up at the quarter mark, looks like we've got Samuelson in lane 3 for Minot with a split of 34.56 seconds, followed by Walton of Jamestown at 35 seconds. Then it's Nelson of Jamestown at 36.17, and then Height of Minot at 37.94. At the 100-yard mark, it's Walton of Jamestown at 1:14.65 and Samuelson of Minot at 1:15.62, followed by Nelson of Jamestown at 1:16.93 and Height of Minot at 1:24.23. Walton of Jamestown continues to lead this Heat 1. It's now followed by Nelson of Jamestown. Then it's Samuelson of Minot and Height of Minot. Finishing up this Heat 1 of the 200-yard freestyle relay will be Robert Walton of Jamestown, followed by Will Nelson of Jamestown, then Briar Samuelson of Minot, and then we'll have Jacob Height finishing up here in just a minute. Looks like we did not get we've got a time for Walton at 2:34.34, and then it's Nelson at 2:37.82, Samuelson at 2:38.43, and we'll have Height touching here in about 3 minutes and 5 seconds as he finishes up at 3:05.16. Here's a look at your board for Heat 1 of the boys 200-yard freestyle. We'll be moving on to Heat 2. In lane 2 for Minot is Brandon Schabbat. In lane 3 for Minot is Oliver Rungen. Lane 4 for Minot is Dominic Yoder. Lane 5 for Jamestown is Alex Goodry. Lane 6 for Jamestown is Caleb Fabian. And lane 7 from Jamestown is Nicholas Olson. Heat 2 of the 200-yard freestyle is in the pool. Once again, Schabbat in lane 2, Rungen in lane 3, Yoder lane 4, Goodry lane 5, Fabian lane 6, and Olson lane 7. At the 50-yard mark, stroke for stroke, we've got Rungen and Yoder. Yoder just a slight touch ahead at 25.85, followed by Rungen at 25.98. Then it's Fabian at 27.39, Goodry at 28.81, Schabbat at 30.46, and Olson at 31.98. Yoder's got an arm length lead here as they come to the halfway point. He and Rungen. At the 100-yard mark, it's Yoder at 55.39, followed by Oliver Rungen at 56.01. Then it's Fabian at 59.35, Goodry at 1 minute, 0.46 seconds, Schabbat at 105.92, and Olson at 108.14. Yoder has about a half body length now over Rungen as they come up on the three-quarter point of this 200-yard freestyle. 126.53 for Yoder, 127.54 for Rungen. Then we have Fabian at 133.38 and Goodry at 134.05. Then we're going to get Schabbat. Olson was 146.16. Shabbat's time didn't register. Yoder finishing up here with a final time of 154.55, followed by Rungen at 158.47. Then it looks like it's going to be Fabian, followed by Goodry. Fabian at 206.16, just off that state qualifying time of 205.76, and then it's Goodry at 207.02. Then it looks like we're going to have Olson from Jamestown just slightly ahead of Schabbat of Minot. They're out in lane 6 and lane 2. Olson touches in 2:23.24 and Schabbat in 2:24.74. Here's a look at the final unofficial times for this 200-yard freestyle. You can see Yoder's time of 1:54.55, followed by Rungen, then Fabian, Goodry, Olson, and Schabbat. Next event will be Heat 1 of 2 for the 200-yard individual medley. We'll have 3 swimmers in this first heat of the 200-yard IM. Lane 3 from Minot will be Lawson Shanklin. Lane 4 from Minot is Ryan Hubbard. And lane 5 from Minot is Caden Dodds. Those gentlemen here. They're in the pool. Once again, that's Lawson Shanklin in lane 3, Hubbard in 4, and Dodds in lane 5. State qualifying time for the 200-yard individual medley is 2:23.97. Through the butterfly, we have Hubbard leading at 28.74. Then it's Shanklin at 31.32 and Dodds at 30.20. They're now into the backstroke portion of the 200-yard medley. The diving competition has begun. Might be able to see it in the background a little bit, maybe hear it through the boom microphone. We'll catch up with those divers shortly here in a few events after the 50 freestyle. At the midway point, switching into the breaststroke now is Hubbard at 104.40, followed by Dodds at 107.15. Then it will be Shanklin at 114.69. They are in the breaststroke portion of the individual medley. Looks like Jamestown does not have any divers with us today, so we just have our 4-minute divers that you watched in that first relay of the day. Hubbard finishing up the breaststroke here, making the transition into the freestyle at 145.42. He should safely meet the state qualifying standard. Then we've got Dodds at 153.92 and Lawson Shanklin finishing up his breaststroke portion. Hubbard halfway through his freestyle. Dodds coming up on the midway point of his freestyle. Hubbard finishing here. Looks like he'll get a time of 2:17.88. Very nice swim for young Mr. Hubbard. Caden Dodds finishing up. He'll be finishing up at 2:28.70. And then we'll have Lawson Shanklin finishing up there in lane 3 with a final time of 2:41.9. Nice swim by those three gentlemen. Here's a look at your board as we prepare for Heat 2 of the 200-yard individual medley. We'll have 5 swimmers in this event. Starter has them on the block. In lane 2 for Minot is Kalen Hill. In lane 3 for Minot is Logan Hill. Lane 4 for Minot is Jackson Reinke. Lane 5 for Jamestown is Noah Haglund. And lane 6 for Jamestown is Garrett Wright. Butterfly is the first portion of the individual medley. Jackson Reinke with about a half body length lead on the field comes in at 27.46, followed by Noah Haglund at 28.41, then Garrett Wright at 28.86, then Logan Hill at 28.93, and Kalen Hill at 29.54. Reinke really excels in these first 2 sections of the individual medley, the butterfly and the backstroke. He's extended his lead to about a body length and a half. We've got Noah Haglund and Kalen Hill battling for second place, followed by Logan Hill and then Garrett Wright. Reinke makes his transition into the breaststroke, as does Noah Haglund, Kalen Hill, and Logan Hill. Out in lane 6, Garrett Wright is into his breaststroke as well. Reinke continues to lead. Looks like we've got the 2 Hill brothers trailing just a tad behind Noah Haglund out in lane 5. They all make the turn at roughly the same time. Reinke powers through this breaststroke section. It's like he's losing one of his caps. Reinke is now into the freestyle. He's at a 3/4 point time of 134.92. Then it's going to be Logan Hill. Very strong breaststroke by Logan at 144.88. Then we have Noah Haglund in lane 5, Kalen Hill in lane 2, and Garrett Wright out in lane 6. Reinke is halfway through the freestyle, and he'll be finishing up this individual medley. Logan Hill just slightly ahead of Haglund for second place. They will be stroke for stroke coming in the final stretch of this 200-yard individual medley. Reinke does touch in a time of 2:11.37. Then we'll have Noah Haglund, very strong freestyle for him, at 2:17:30. Then it's Logan Hill at 2:18:51. Then it's Kalen Hill at 2:21:43. And Garrett Wright at 2:23.32. Here's a look at your unofficial results for Heat 2 of the 200-yard individual medley. Once again, Jackson Ranke leads the way in 2:11.37. We'll now move into the 50-yard freestyle. We will have 5 heats of this 50-yard freestyle. Cody Kranz just finished up one of his dives. Our Cody is on the board, now, for one of his dives. See if we can catch that before we move on to the start of the 50-yard freestyle. Here's Cody Kranz. Looks like a 6, 5.5, and a 6. 6, 5.5, 6 for Cody on that dive from the 3 judges. Now we're back to the pool. The 50-yard freestyle, Heat 1. Lane 3 is Andrew Swartout. Lane 4 is Alex Moe, both of Minot. And lane 5 will be Elliot Dixon of Jamestown. I'm sorry. I turned the page too early. Heat 1 of the 50-yard freestyle. In lane 3 from Minot, David McConville. In lane 4 from Minot, Logan Greenlee. In lane 5 from Minot, Carter Withers. And in lane 6 from Jamestown, Joshua Molina. So I got Molina from Jamestown, full body length lead over the field in this first heat of the 50-yard freestyle. That's Molina coming in with a time of 31:14. He'll be followed by Greenlee of Minot at 33:96. Then it's Withers of Minot at 36:22. And McConville finishing up his 50-yard freestyle with a time of 46.99. Moving on to Heat 2 of the 50-yard freestyle. In lane 2 from Minot, Luke Peterson. Lane 3 from Minot, Kellen Anderson. Lane 4 from Minot, Garth Shanklin. Lane 5 from Minot, Jamison Donahoe. Lane 6 is Minot's Tyler Sherlock. And lane 7, his brother, Brian Sherlock.
5 bingo. Heat 2.
This is Heat 2 of the 50-yard freestyle. Lane 2, Peterson of Minot. Lane 3, Anderson of Minot. Lane 4, Shanklin of Minot. Lane 5, Donahoe of Minot. And lane 6, Tyler Sherlock of Minot. And lane 7, Brian Sherlock of Minot. It's got lane 5. Jamison Donahoe has the lead coming in for the finish of the 50-yard freestyle. He will be touching with a time of 27:21, followed by Kellen Anderson at 28:82, Garth Shanklin at 29:11, Brian Sherlock at 30.29, Tyler Sherlock 30.37, and Luke Peterson at 31.97. Here's a look at your board before we move on to Heat 3. Once again, state qualifying time for this 50-yard freestyle is 25:59. Cody Kranz back on the board. Looks like we're going to wait for that dive to complete before they get this Heat 3 of the 50-yard freestyle underway. As we watch Cody, those participants for the Heat 3 are Micah Beers of Minot, Trevor Ricks of Minot. Here's Cody's dive. Once again, in lane 2 is Micah Beers of Minot. Lane 3, Trevor Ricks of Minot. Lane 4, Carter Thomas of Minot. Lane 5 is Minot's Matt Bowen. Lane 6 is Gannon Cowper of Minot. And in lane 7, from Jamestown, Logan Motter. Heat 3, 50-yard freestyle is in the pool. Beers of Minot Lane 3 is Ricks. Looks like Ricks out to a little lead on this through the first half of the race. He is in lane 3. See if he can hold that. Thomas and Bowen in lane 4 and 5 right with him, along with Cowper. Looks like we're going to have Trevor Ricks at 26:42. Followed by Matt Bowen at 26:74. Then it's Carter Thomas, 26:92. Then Gannon Cowper at 27:16. And Micah Beers, 27:89. Moving on to Heat 4, the 50-yard freestyle. Lane 2, all Minot swimmers. Lane 2, Tristan Lays. Lane 3, Griffin Osborne. Lane 4, Will Thomas. Lane 5, Alex Prestwich. Lane 6, Andrew Swartout. And lane 7, Alex Moe. Those swimmers are in the pool. Got a nice even race. Just the way we like it in this 50-yard freestyle. Be coming in tight. Looks like lane 3 with a slight lead. Let's see if he can hold that. That is Griffin Osborne. And at the wall, we're going to have Griffin Osborne, 24:73. Followed by Andrew Swartout, 24:75. Then it's Alex Prestwich, 24:89. Then Will Thomas, 25:32. Alex Moe, 25:54. And Tristan Lays, 25:60. Our fifth and final heat of the 50-yard freestyle. Lane 2 for Minot, Levi Von Bokern. Lane 3 for Minot, Alex King. Lane 4 for Minot, Grant Schaefer. Lane 5 for Jamestown, Braden Schmeichel. Lane 6 for Jamestown, Teddy Selinski. And lane 7 for Jamestown, Caden Schmidt. At the wall, we've got Schaefer with a half body length lead over King as they come in this final 25-yard stretch of the 50-yard freestyle. We will have Schaefer touching in 22.71, followed by King of 23:31. Then it's Von Bokern at 24:41. Then we'll have Schmeichel of Jamestown at 25:45. Then Schmidt at 25:64 and Selinski at 25:67. Here's a look at the board. Once again, Schaefer winning this final heat and the overall on the 50-yard freestyle of 22.71. So we will now have a break from the swim events and we will stick with the diving. So once again, diving, we've got the 4 Minot divers. I believe this is Aiden Stewart. Five and a half, and 5.5 on that dive. That was Cody Kranz again. He's been our favorite diver tonight. So now we'll get to see the rest of the boys dive. This is Ty Ross. Looks like Ty's going to have a 5.5, 5, and a 5.5 for that dive. Next up will be Aiden Stewart.
Aiden, 203C, back 1.5 somersault tuck, 2.0.
Looks like a 1.5 somersault tuck for Aiden Stewart. Dive 203C for those of you who knows what that means. Very nice dive by Mr. Stewart.
6 bingo.
6, 6, and a 6 for Aiden on that dive. Very nice score for him. Next up will be Jaron Coombs.
Jaron, 5223D, back 1 somersault, 1.5 twist, 3, 2.3.
A back somersault with 1.5 twists, I believe is what she said. This is Jaron Coombs. Got a nice looking dive for Jaron. Looks like a 5.5, a 6, and a 5 for Jaron on that dive.
5221B, back 1 somersault, back twist, 3, 1.7.
A back somersault with 1 twist, I believe, for Cody Krenz here. Five and a half, 6.5, and a 5 for Cody. Next up is Ty Ross.
23B, back 1 somersault, 1.5 twist, 3, 2.3.
A back somersault with 1.5 twists for Ty Ross. A 6.5, 6.5, and a 7 for Ty on that dive. Looks like the diving coach is excited for Ty over there. And that looks like that will be the end of our diving competition. They did their 6 dives, so we got to see the last round and a half for those young fellas. Swimmers are now on a break. They are doing a little bit of warm-up. In the meantime, we'll give you a look at that last heat again of the 50-yard freestyle. Jamestown swimmers are in the pool warming up. Looks like we'll get our Minot swimmers in shortly. And we'll resume swimming with the 100-yard butterfly. We'll just have one heat of the butterfly this afternoon. State qualifying time for that event is 1:03.52. As the swimmers warm up for the second half of the meet, I'd like to thank a few of our sponsors. We have 28 Tastes and Taps, delivering fresh, delicious food. They're located out on 16th Street Southwest. Also like to thank Tires Plus, Clean Tech, Premier Chiropractic, and the Beaupre Law Firm. All right, we're getting ready to resume the swimming competition this afternoon. We'll start with the 100-yard butterfly. State qualified time of 103.52. One heat of this butterfly. Lane 1 from Minot is Garth Shanklin. Lane 2 from Minot, Alex Prestwich. Lane 3 from Minot, Tyler Hills. Lane 4 for Minot, Logan Hill. Lane 5 for Jamestown, Garrett Wright. Lane 6 for Jamestown, Alex Goodry. And Lane 7 for Jamestown, Ethan Higgle. Make sure we get lane 1 here for you. 100-yard butterfly is in the pool. Lane 1, Minot Shanklin. Lane 2, Minot's Prestwich. Lane 3, Hills of Minot. Lane 4, Hill of Minot. Lane 5, Wright of Jamestown. Then it's Goodry of Jamestown in 6, and Eagle of Jamestown in lane 7. The halfway point looks like we're going to have Garrett Wright leading the way to Jamestown, followed by Logan Hill. Then it will be Alex Goodry of Jamestown, then Prestwich of Minot, Tyler Hills of Minot, Garth Shanklin of Minot, and Ethan Eagle of Jamestown. About a body length lead as we hit that final turn for Wright over Logan Hill. Touching with a time of 59.52 seconds is Garrett Wright from Jamestown, followed by Logan Hill of Minot at 1:03.23, which is just under the state qualifying time. Nice job for Logan. Then we'll have Alex Goodry of Jamestown at 1:05.75. Then Tyler Hills of Minot at 1:04.09. Alex Prestwich of Minot at 1:09.31. Garth Shanklin of Minot at 1:15.94, and Ethan Eagle of Jamestown at 1:24.9. That concludes the butterfly. Next will be the 100-yard freestyle. We will have 4 heats of the 100-yard freestyle. Heat 1 of the 100-yard freestyle will have 3 swimmers. Those swimmers are from Minot in lane 3, David McConville. Then from Minot is Jacob Height in lane 4, and in lane 5 from Jamestown is Joshua Molina. Heat 1 of the 100-yard freestyle is in the pool. State qualifying time of 57.01 for this event. In lane 3 is Minot's McConville. Lane 4 is Minot's Height. And lane 5 is Jamestown's Molina. 4 trips up and down for the 100-yard freestyle. Looks like we've got Molina in lane 5 leading the way for Jamestown, followed by Jacob Height in lane 4. Then it's McConville in lane 3. Touching first in the first heat of the 100-yard freestyle is Joshua Molina of Jamestown with a time of 1 minute, 12.48 seconds, followed by Jacob Height of Minot at 1:19.5, and then we'll have David McConville of Minot coming in. You can see David finishing up here. Nice work by the young freshman. And here are the final times for Heat 1 of the 100-yard freestyle. That's Molina of Jamestown, then Height of Minot, and McConville of Minot. Heat 2 on the blocks. In Heat 2, in Lane 3 for Minot is Tyler Sherlock. In Lane 4 for Minot is his younger brother, freshman Brian Sherlock. Lane 5 is Luke Peterson of Minot. In Lane 6 is Minot's Logan Greenlee. Got Brian Sherlock leading the way here. Looks like he'll be coming in at the midway point at 33.87, followed by Lane 5 is Luke Peterson of Minot. Then it was Tyler Sherlock of Minot, then Greenlee of Minot. We'll get you back on track here with the second half of the 100-yard freestyle. Sherlock continues to lead. We got Brian Sherlock continuing to lead the second heat of the 100-yard freestyle. He'll be coming in, touching in with a final time of 1 minute, 10.41 seconds. Be followed out in lane 6 by Logan Greenlee of Minot at 1:17.76. Then it's Tyler Sherlock of Minot at 1:19.17. And we've got Luke Peterson. Looks like he had some goggle issues there. They don't seem to be on his head anymore as he finishes at 1:27.91. Those are the results of Heat 2 of the 100-yard freestyle. Now we're into Heat 3. We will have 4 heats of this race. Heat 3, Lane 2 from Minot is Justin Moldenauer. Lane 3 is Tristan Lays. Lane 4, Carter Larson. Lane 5, Caden Dodds. Lane 6, Brandon Shabbat. And Lane 7, Chance Thompson. These are all Minot swimmers for this third heat of the 100-yard freestyle. We got Carter Larson out in lane 4. Slight lead over Dodds in lane 5. And Lays in lane 3. At the midway point, looks like it's going to be Carter Larson with a split of 27.11, followed by Lays of 27.14. We did not get a split for Carter Larson. That was Caden Dodds at 27.11. Carter was just slightly ahead of that. Looks like they're touching the last turn around the same time. That's Tristan Lays in lane 3, Carter Larson in lane 4, and Caden Dodds in lane 5. Lays has a nice second half. Looks like he will swim to the win in this third heat of the 100-yard freestyle with a time of 56.25, followed by Carter Larson at 57.54 and Caden Dodds at 57.56. State qualifying time is 57.01, so Tristan Lays has met the state qualifying standard. Fourth place of this heat was Brandon Shabbat of Minot at 105.62. Followed by Chance Thompson at 105.8 and Justin Moldenauer at 108.75. Take a look at the board, and we'll move on to the final heat of the 100-yard freestyle. Lane 2 for Minot is Will Thomas. Lane 3 for Minot, Levi Von Bokern. Lane 4 for Minot is Grant Schaefer. Lane 5 for Jamestown is Bodie Haglund. Lane 6 for Jamestown, Luke Plagans. And Lane 7 for Jamestown is Robert Walton. Heat 4 swimmers are on the blocks. 100-yard freestyle. Yard freestyle is in the pool, the fourth and final heat. At the first turn, we'll have Schaefer of Minot, followed by Haglund of Jamestown, and Von Bokert of Minot, followed by Hill of Minot in lane 1. Excuse me, that's Will Thomas in lane 1. At the halfway point, Schaefer with a split of 23.51, followed by Von Bokert at 25.39. Then it's Haglund at 25.85. Schaefer with 2 body lengths as he comes into the final turn. Then it will be Von Bokern, then Haglund, and then Thomas. Schaefer finishing up to 100-yard freestyle, touching at the time of 49.66 seconds, followed by Von Bokern at 52.46. Will Thomas at 56.06. Brody Haglund at 56.6. Then we will have Plagans of Jamestown at 102.85 and Walton of Jamestown at 108.76. There's a look at your final board. Once again, Grant Schaefer, 49.66. Levi Von Bokern, 52.46. Cody Haglund, 55.33. Will Thomas, 56.06. Those are all state qualifying times, followed by Plagans at 102.85 and then Walton at 108.76. Next in the pool is the 500-yard freestyle. We will have 2 heats of the 500-yard freestyle today. State qualifying standard is 543.41. First heat consists of 3 swimmers in lane 3 for Minot. Andrew Swartout. Lane 4 from Minot is Alex Moe, and lane 5 from Jamestown is Elliot Dixon. 20 laps for these young men as they compete in Heat 1 of the 500-yard freestyle. Alex Moe leads this first heat of the 500-yard freestyle at the 150 mark, followed by Andrew Swartout of Minot and then Elliot Dixon of Jamestown. At the halfway point, that's Moe at not the halfway point, the quarter point, Moe at 2:11. This next touch will be Moe at the halfway mark. Alex will be at 2:47.08 at the halfway mark. He just that's Swartout touching here at the halfway point. Swartout will be at 3 minutes, 0.12 seconds. You can see Moe swimming next to Jamestown swimmer Elliot Dixon. He is a lap behind Alex. Alex staying smooth here. Mo at the 3/4 mark. He'll now be touching with 4 laps to go. With another 100 yards to go, he's at 438.36. You hear the bell. 50 yards to go for Alex Moe. He's at 5:16.53. State qualifying standard for this 500-yard freestyle is 5:43.41. Just 25 yards to go for Alex. 100 yards to go, 50 yards to go for Andrew Swartout, touching at 5:36.85. Then we've got another 75 to go for Elliott Dixon. Mo will be touching in this first heat with a time of 5:50.80 for the 500-yard freestyle. Finishing up his 500-yard freestyle is Andrew Swartout of Minot at 6:13.26. We'll have another 50 yards to go here for Elliott Dixon. Here, Elliott's teammates cheering him on as he finishes up this 500-yard race. There is Elliott Dixon touching with a final time of 7 minutes, 4.19 seconds. There's your Heat 1 of the 500-yard freestyle. Alex Moe at 5:50.8, followed by Andrew Swartout and Elliott Dixon. Moving on to Heat 2 of the 500-yard freestyle. This is Heat 2 of 2. In lane 2 for Minot is Ryan Hubbard, a sophomore. Lane 3 is sophomore from Minot, Alex King. And lane 4 is Minot sophomore, Jackson Renke. Lane 5 is Jamestown sophomore, Teddy Solinsky. Lane 6 is Jamestown 8th grader, Caleb Fabian. And lane 7 from Jamestown, a senior, Caden Schmidt. Once again, 20 laps. State qualifying time standard of 5:43.41. Alex King in lane 3. About a half body length as we come after that first 50 yards. Followed very closely by Jackson Renke, and Ryan Hubbard. Then it's Solinsky, then Fabian, and Schmidt. You can expect to see this half body length with King and Renke stay fairly consistent. Then out in lane 5, we've got Solinsky, and lane 2 for Minot is Ryan Hubbard. They'll want to stay in contact with Alex. Getting a little closer to a body length here over Renke, followed by Hubbard and Solinsky in lane 5 for Jamestown. So after 75 yards, we'll have King making the turn with a time of 1:31.21, followed by Renke at 1:33.05. Then it's Hubbard at 1:34.15 and Solinsky 1:34.87. Then we have Schmidt at 1:38.80 and Fabian at 1:39.15. King coming up on the 200-yard mark. King at 2:02.81, then it's followed by Renke at 2:05.91, then Hubbard 2:07.23, Solinsky 2:08.32, Fabian 2:14.11, and Schmidt 2:13.87. That was after 200 yards. Coming up on the halfway point, Alex King with about a 3 body length lead now. He'll be coming into the halfway point at 2:34.9. He'll be followed by Jackson Renke. Renke touching in at 2:39.49. Then it's Ryan Hubbard, 2:41.38. Ted Solinsky, 2:42.68. Then we've got Fabian at 2:48.80 and Schmidt at 2:49.83. Those two fellas swim very close together. King continues to power through this 500-yard freestyle. King now at 3:39.43. He's coming up on the 3/4 mark here. In the back half, he'll have 5 laps to go. He's got his lap counter shaking his thing, encouraging him along the way. Keep those pace up. He's splitting probably in the 32 range. So he'll be coming up with 4 laps to go. That's 100 yards. He's at 4:12.09, splitting to 32.66 on that last split. He'll be followed by Renke with 100 yards to go at 4:22.37, a 34.61 split. Hubbard splits a 34.60 at 4:25.32. Then Solinsky splits a 34.95. He's at 4:27.17. Fabian splits a 34.40. And Schmidt splits a 36.53. King has 50 yards to go. 32.51 split. He's probably going to drop that under 30 for this final split. He was at 4:44.60 with just the 50 yards to go. Here's his final turn. Probably going to be in that 5:15 range. Alex comes in for this 500-yard freestyle at 5:16.67, splitting to 32.07 on his last split. Nice steady race for Alex. He's going to be followed in here by Jackson Renke. Ranke at 5:30.11 is going to be close here, touch for third. Looks like it's going to be Ryan Hubbard at 5:32.91. Then Solinsky at 5:33.55. Those are your top 4 finishers in today's race. Now look at Fabian finishing in 5th at 5:38.74, followed lastly by Caden Schmidt of Jamestown at 5:50.71. Those first 5 swimmers all do meet the state qualifying standard of 5:43.41. We'll get you a look at the final board here for the 500-yard freestyle. Most time in that first heat was real close to this 5:50 from Schmidt in the second heat. Now we'll be moving on to the 200-yard freestyle relay. We will have 2 heats. In heat 1, it'll be 3 teams from Minot. Team F of Logan Greenlee, Carter Withers, David McConville, and Jacob Height. In lane 4 is Magicians D, Lawson Shanklin, Kellen Anderson, Brandon Shabbat, and Garth Shanklin. In lane 5 will be Magicians E, Tyler Sherlock, followed by Luke Peterson, then Brian Sherlock, and Justin Moldenauer. That 200-yard freestyle relay, each swimmer will swim 50 yards. This is heat 1 of the 200-yard freestyle relay. 3 Minot teams in the pool for the first leg of this 200-yard freestyle relay. In lane 3 for Minot's Logan Greenlee. Lane 4 is Lawson Shanklin, and lane 5 is Tyler Sherlock. That's Lawson Shanklin leading the way. He'll be making the exchange with Kellen Anderson. Kellen Anderson now in the pool in lane 4. Entering the pool in lane 5 will be Luke Peterson. Entering the pool in lane 3 is Carter Withers. Kellen Anderson finishing up his leg of the 200-yard freestyle relay. He'll be making the exchange with Brandon Shabbat in lane 4. There goes Shabbat into the pool. Lane 5, getting ready to enter, is Brian Sherlock. Brian is now into the pool, and in lane 3, entering the pool is David McConville. Minot swimmer Brandon Shabbat coming up, finishing up his third leg. He'll be making the exchange with Garth Shanklin. Garth is now entering the pool for the final leg of the 200-yard freestyle relay in heat 1. Out in lane 5, we have Justin Moldenauer getting ready to enter the pool. There goes Justin in lane 5. And in lane 3, waiting his turn, is Jacob Height. We'll get Jacob entering the pool here. And finishing up in lane 4 for the Magicians is Garth Shanklin with a team time of 1:58.14. Finishing up in lane 5 is Justin Moldenauer. That team will finish with a time of 2 minutes, 10.90 seconds. Then we have Jacob Height finishing up for his team here in lane 3. There we see Jacob touching. Here are your times for heat 1 of 200-yard free relay, the 3 Minot teams. 158.14, followed by 210.90 and 230.08. Members of that winning team for this Heat 1 of the 200-yard freestyle relay were Lawson Shanklin, Kellen Anderson, Brandon Shabbat, and Garth Shanklin. Setting up for Heat 2 of the 50-yard freestyle, the 4x50 relay, or the 200-yard freestyle relay, whichever you prefer. In lane 2 will be Magicians C, Gannon Cowper, Micah Beers, Chance Thompson, and Trevor Ricks. Lane 3, Magicians B, Tristan Lays, Caden Dodds, Matt Bowen, and Logan Hill. Lane 4 for the Magicians, Team A, Peyton Barch, Josh Bowen, Alex Prestwich, and Levi Von Bokern. Lane 5 for the Blue Jays, Garrett Wright, Caden Schmidt, Braden Schmeichel, Alex Goodry. Lane 6 for the Blue Jays, Caleb Fabian, Logan Motter, Luke Plagans, and Ethan Eigel. In lane 7 for the Blue Jays, Will Nelson, Elliot Dixon, Joshua Molina, and Robert Walton. Heat 2, the 200-yard freestyle relay is in the pool. Out to the lead for the Magi in lane 4 is Peyton Barch. Next to him in lane 5 is Garrett Wright of Jamestown, and inside of him in lane 3 is Tristan Lays of Minot. Barch coming in for the exchange. It'll be Josh Bowen entering the pool. Barch with a split of 23-44. In lane 4, that's Josh Bowen of Minot holding the lead, built by Barch. Then will be lane 3, Minot, and lane 5, Jamestown at the turn. Swimming for Minot in lane 3 is Caden Dodds. Bowen here coming in for the transition. Now into the pool for the Magicians is Alex Prestwich. Looks like Bowen splits a 23-67 for the Magicians. In lane 3 from Minot right now is going to be Matt Bowen. In lane 5 for the Blue Jays, Braden Schmeichel. Alex Prestwich finishing up his leg. Looks like he's got Levi Von Bokern ready to make the exchange for that final leg of the 4x50 relay. There goes Von Bokern in the pool. Prestwich splits a 24-71. Now into the pool for Jamestown in lane 5 is Alex Goodry. In lane 3 for Minot is Logan Hill. Lane 2 for Minot into the pool now is Trevor Ricks. In lane 6 in the pool at Jamestown is Robert Walton. Ethan Eigel, in lane 6. Eggel's so finishing up for the Magicians in lane 4 with a split of 24-13 for a final team time of 1:35.95 was Levi Von Bokern. Here's your team times of Heat 2. Members of that winning team for Minot, Peyton Barch, Josh Bowen, Alex Prestwich, and Levi Von Bokern. Members for the Blue Jays were the second place team of Garrett Wright, Caden Schmidt, Braden Schmeichel, and Alex Goodry. And third for Minot, Tristan Lays, Caden Dodds, Matt Bowen, and Logan Hill. 3 events left in the pool. We'll go with the 100-yard backstroke, followed by the 100-yard breaststroke, and then the final event of the day, the 400-yard freestyle relay. We will have 3 heats of both the backstroke and the breaststroke. Those backstrokers are making their way to the starting blocks. We will have 3 swimmers in Heat 1. In lane 3 for Minot is Briar Samuelson. Lane 4 for Minot is Carter Thomas, and lane 5 for Jamestown is Elliot Dixon. There's the whistle. Those swimmers will be entering the pool for the start of the 100-yard backstroke. This is Heat 1 of 3 for the 100-yard backstroke. And lane 3 for Minot's Brian Samuelson. Lane 4 for Minot, Carter Thomas. Lane 5 for Jamestown, Elliot Dixon. The halfway point is Carter Thomas of Minot, followed by Samuelson of Minot, then Dixon of Jamestown. Finishing up heat 1 of the 100-yard backstroke, we have Carter Thomas of Minot, touching with a time of 1:18.29. He'll be followed by Briar Samuelson of Minot at 1:23.85. Then it's Elliott Dixon of Jamestown with a final time of 1:33.16. There's your board for heat 1 of 3 for the 100-yard backstroke. State qualifying standard is 1:06.50. Heat 2, the 100-yard backstroke. Lane 2 for Minot, Trevor Ricks. Lane 3 for Minot, Griffin Osborne. Lane 4 for Minot, Oliver Rungan. Lane 5 for Minot, Carter Larson. Lane 6 for Minot, Jamison Donahoe. And lane 7 for Minot is Tyler Hills. This is heat 2 of the 100-yard backstroke. Lane 2 is Ricks, lane 3 Osborne, lane 4 Rungan, lane 5 Larson, lane 6 Donahoe, and lane 7 Hills, all Minot swimmers. At the halfway point, Rungan will have about a 2-body length lead as he touches the wall with a 50-yard split of 29-21. He'll be followed by Carter Larson at 32.64, Griffin Osborne 34.13, Jamison Donahoe 34.71, Tyler Hills 35.71. Finishing up heat 2 of the 100-yard backstroke is Oliver Rungan at 1:02.87. Then it will be Carter Larson at 1:08.84, Griffin Osborne 1:11.41, Jamison Donahoe 1:12.59, Tyler Hills 1:14.34. State qualifying standard is met by Oliver Rungan. There's the heat 2 times. Now we'll have heat 3 entering the pool. Heat 3, lane 2, Minot's Kalen Hill. Lane 3 is Minot's Peyton Barch. Lane 4 is Minot's Josh Bowen. Lane 5 is Jamestown's Bodie Hagelin. Lane 6 is Jamestown's Braden Schmeichel. Lane 2 is Josh Bowen. Lane 3 is Peyton Barch. Lane 4, Dominic Yoder. Lane 5, Noah Hagelin of Jamestown. Lane 6, Logan Motter of Jamestown. And lane 7, Nicholas Olson of Jamestown. Yoder with a body length lead over Hagelin. And about another half body length before Barch, and then another half body length before Bowen. Yoder touches at 26.56, then it's Hagelin at 28.92, Barch 29.96, Bowen 31.08. Then we have Olson out in lane 7 of Jamestown at 38.66. There was a scratch in lane 6 for Jamestown. Yoder finishing up this 100-yard backstroke with a time of 55.16 seconds. Then it's Hagelin of Jamestown at 59.62, Peyton Barch of Minot at 101.13, followed by Josh Bowen of Minot at 106.10. Then we'll have Nicholas Olson of Jamestown in lane 7 finishing up. Then we'll be moving on to the breaststroke. Olson finishes up at 1:18.31. There's your third heat times. Once again, that was Yoder of Minot at 55.16, then Noah Haglund of Jamestown at 59.62, Barch of Minot 101.13, Bone of Minot 106.10, and Olson of Jamestown at 118.31. Moving on to the last individual event of the day in the pool is a 100-yard breaststroke. Heat 1 of 3 in lane 2 for Minot's Kellen Anderson. Lane 3 for Minot's Carter Withers. Lane 4 is Minot's Chance Thompson. Lane 5 is Minot's Justin Moldenauer. And lane 6 is Jamestown's Will Nelson. First heat of the breaststroke is in the pool. Minot's Anderson in 2, Withers in 3, Thompson in 4, and Moldenauer in 5, and Jamestown's Nelson in lane 6. Heat 1 of the 100-yard breaststroke finishing up. Looks like we'll have lane 2, Anderson of Minot, real close with lane 4 of Minot. That's Chance Thompson. See how those two gentlemen finish up. Looks like we're going to have Anderson touch with a time of 1:29.37, followed by Thompson at 1:29.84. Then it's Nelson of Jamestown at 1:31.06. Moldenauer of Minot 1:32.04, and Withers of Minot at 1:37.69. Moving on to Heat 2 of the 100-yard breaststroke. Heat 2, 100-yard breaststroke. Lane 2, Micah Beers of Minot. Lane 3, Gannon Kaufer of Minot. Lane 4, Matt Bowen of Minot. Lane 5, Trevor Ricks of Minot. Lane 6, Lawson Shanklin of Minot. And Lane 7, Luke Plagans of Jamestown. We got swimmers in lane 4 and 5. That's Matt Bowen in 4, Trevor Ricks in 5. Stroke for stroke coming off that first turn. Bowen with a slight lead as they time their strokes. That's Matt Bowen in lane 4 at the halfway point in 35.62, followed by Trevor Ricks at 35.53. Then it's Lawson Shanklin at 39.33. Luke Plagans of Jamestown at 39.56. Then it's Gannon Kauper in lane 3 of Minot at 40.34, and Micah Beers at 41.04. Matt Bowen continues to look strong. He's got a body length lead over Ricks now as he comes in this last 25 yards of the 100-yard breaststroke. This is Heat 2. State qualifying standard is 111.98. Matt Bowen finishes in 113.44, followed by Trevor Ricks at 115.99. Then looks like we will have real tight race for third in this heat. It's going to be Lawson Shanklin at 123.93, and then Kauper at 124.15, Plagans at 124.82, and Micah Beers at 128.31. Here's a look at the board for Heat 2 of the 100-yard breaststroke. Here's our third and final heat of the 100-yard breaststroke. I read these names earlier during the backstroke. I'll read them for you again. In lane 2 for Minot's Caitlin Hill. Lane 3 for Minot is Peyton Barch in lane 3. In lane 4 is Minot's Josh Bowen. Lane 5 is Jamestown's Bodie Hagelin. Lane 6 is Jamestown's Braden Schmeichel. And in lane 7 is Jamestown's Ethan Eigel. Bowling with the first turn after 25 yards, followed by Barch and Hagland. At the halfway point, that's Bowen at 31.8, followed by Hagelin at 32.63, then Barch at 34.12. Then we'll have Schmeichel at 35.02, Hill at 35.18, and Eigel at 39.25. Bowen has about a body length lead as he comes into the last turn over Hagelin. That's Bodie Hagelin. He is an 8th grader from Jamestown. We'll get Bowen finishing up this 100-yard breaststroke. Very strong last leg by Hagelin. Bowen at 1:08.53. Bodie Hagelin at 1:09.18, followed by Barch at 1:14.08. Then it's Kalen Hill at 1:14.28. Schmeichel at 1:15.03. Then we'll have Eigel finishing up at 1:22.54. Here's your final board for the 100-yard breaststroke heat 3. Bowen of Minot, 1:08.53, followed by Hagelin of Jamestown at 1:09.18. Then Barch of Minot, 1:14.08. Then Hill of Minot, 1:14.28. Schmeichel of Jamestown, 1:15.03. And Eigel of Jamestown, 1:22.54. Moving on, we're going to the final event of the day. It's the boys' 400-yard freestyle relay. We will have 2 heats. Heat 1 will be Magicians F. Briar Samuelson, Jamison Donahoe, Jacob Height, and Brian Sherlock. Lane 4 is Magicians D. Alex Moe, Carter Larson, Caden Dodds, and Will Thomas. Lane 5 will be Magicians E. Tyler Hills, Carter Thomas, Brandon Shabbat, and Andrew Swartout. Once again, following this live stream on the PSP network of the boys swim duel tonight, you can stick with the Pro Style with the PSP network and watch the Bismarck and Minot High boys basketball game taking place at the Magic City campus gym. Tip-off time approximately 7:30. This is Heat 1 of the 400-yard freestyle relay. In the pool, Minot swimmers, lane 3 is Briar Samuelson, lane 4 is Alex Moe, and lane 5 is Tyler Hills. That's lane 4 swimmer Alex Moe, followed by lane 5 swimmer Tyler Hills, and then lane 3 swimmer Briar Samuelson. Moe finishing up first leg in lane 4. He'll be making the exchange with Carter Larson. Carter Larson now into the pool for the Magicians in lane 4. Entering the pool in lane 5 for the Magicians is Carter Thomas. Entering the pool in lane 3 for the Magicians will be Jamison Donahoe. As Carter Larson you see passing in lane 4. He'll have 50 yards to go. He'll be followed by Magician swimmer Carter Thomas out in lane 5. Carter Larson finishing up the second leg of the 400-yard freestyle relay. Be ready to make the exchange. Entering the pool for the Magicians in lane 4 will be Caden Dodds. There he goes. Entering the pool in lane 5 for the Magicians is Brandon Shabbat. Prepping to enter the pool in lane 3 for the Magicians is Jacob Height. Jacob Height entering the pool now as Jamison Donahoe finishes up his leg. So we have in the pool, we have Height in lane 3, Dodds in lane 4, and Shabbat in lane 5. Entering the pool for the final leg for the Magicians in lane 4 is Will Thomas. Getting ready to enter the pool for the final leg in lane 5 is Andrew Swartout. There goes Andrew as he starts his launch. See Will Thomas coming in on the halfway point for his leg of the relay. He'll have 50 yards to go. Jacob Height finishing up his leg in lane 3. Waiting for the transition for that final leg in lane 3 for the Magicians is freshman Brian Sherlock. There goes Sherlock into the pool. As Thomas finishes up for the team in lane 4 with a time of 3:54.52. Finishing up his leg in lane 5 will be Andrew Swartout. Swartout touching for a team time of 4:12.09. Still swimming in lane 3 for the Magicians is Brian Sherlock. Brian will have another 50 yards to go after he makes this turn. Finishing up for the Magicians in lane 3 was Brian Sherlock. Here's a look at those three teams' times for Heat 1 of the 400-yard freestyle relay. Members of that winning team were Alex Moe, Carter Larson, Caden Dodds, and Will Thomas. Moving on, we'll take the final heat of the day. It's Heat 2 of the 400-yard freestyle relay. In lane 2 is Magicians C, Griffin Osborne, Alex Prestwich, Ryan Hubbard, and Logan Hill. Lane 3 is Magicians B, Oliver Rungan, Kalen Hill, Josh Bowen, and Peyton Birch. Lane 4, Magicians A, Dominic Yoder, Levi Von Bokern, Jackson Ranke, and Alex King. Lane 5 will have Blue Jays A, Caden Schmidt, Teddy Solinsky, Bodie Haglund, and Noah Haglund. Lane 6, Blue Jays B, Caleb Fabian, Alex Goodry, Braden Schmeichel, and Logan Motter. Lane 6 for the Blue Jays, Nicholas Olson, Robert Walton, Will Nelson, and Elliot Dixon. This is your final race of the day, 400-yard freestyle relay in the pool. Lane 2 is Griffin Osborne. Lane 3, Oliver Rungan. Lane 4, Dominic Yoder. Lane 5, Caden Schmidt. Lane 6, Caleb Fabian. And Lane 7, Nicholas Olson. At the halfway point, it's Lane 3 for Minot. That would be Oliver Rungan touching just ahead of Dominic Yoder. They're stroke for stroke as they come into this final turn for their leg of the 400-yard freestyle relay. Yoder with a slight edge at the touch. About a half body length as they come in. Awaiting the transition in lane 4 will be Levi Von Bokern, and lane 3 is Kalen Hill. Into the pool in lane 5 for the Blue Jays is Teddy Solinsky, and lane 6 for the Blue Jays is Alex Goodry. For the Magicians in lane 2 is Alex Prestwich. That's Von Bokern for Magicians in lane 4. For lane 3, For the Magicians in lane 3 is Kaylin Hill. Making the turn for the Blue Jays in lane 5 is Teddy Solinsky, and in lane 6 is Alex Goodry. For the Magicians in lane 2, it is Alex Prestwich. Coming in, finishing up his leg in lane 4 is Levi Von Boker, making the transition. Entering the pool for the Magicians is Jackson Ranke in lane 4. Entering the pool for the Magicians in lane 3 is Josh Bowen. In lane 2 for the Magicians is Ryan Hubbard. For the Blue Jays in lane 5 is Bodie Hagelin. In lane 6 is Braden Schmeichel. In lane 7 is Will Nelson. We do not have a team in lane 7, I'm sorry. Ranke is in lane 4 for the Magicians. In lane 3 for the Magicians, Josh Bowen. Lane 2 for the Magicians, Ryan Hubbard. Lane 5 for the Blue Jays, Bodie Hagelin, just finishing up from his breaststroke, as well as lane 6, Braden Schmeichel for Jamestown. Making the final transition for the Magicians in lane 4. Finishing up is Jackson Ranke. Entering the pool is Alex King. Alex King is now swimming in lane 4. Next up for the Magicians, entering in lane 3 is Peyton Barch. There goes Peyton into the pool. Now lane 2 for the Magicians. Logan Hills into the pool. Entering the pool for the Blue Jays. In lane 5 is Noah Hagelin. And for the Blue Jays in lane 6 is Logan Motter. King finishing up his first 50 yards. He'll come in. He's got his final turn. He'll be followed by Barch. Going to make his next turn. And Logan Hill making his final turn for the Magicians. In lane 5 for the Blue Jays making their... Going in for the last lap is Noah Hagelin. Finishing up here for the Magicians in lane 4 is Alex King, touching for a final team time of 3:31.43. And then we'll have Minet's Team B led by finishing up here with Peyton Barch. They will touch with a time of 3:45.01. Then will be Jamestown out in lane 5 at 3:47.73. Then Minot C at 3:48.31. Our final team is Jamestown B. Finishing up out in lane 6 at 3:58.37. Here's a look at the final board for that final relay team. Members of that winning team for the Magicians are Dominic Yoder, Levi Von Boker, Jackson Ranke, and Alex King. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us for tonight's live stream of this duel between the Minot Magicians and the Jamestown Blue Jays. We'll see if we can't bring up some final results here on Meet Mobile. Don't know how soon those will be ready for the team scoring. We'll see if we can get those final results updated. As soon as they're ready, we'll show those, and then we will sign off. So once again, thank you for joining us on the PSP Network for tonight's swim duel between the Jamestown Blue Jays and Minot Magicians. Hometown action for the Magicians continues on the PSP Network with a live stream of the the Minot hosting Bismarck basketball. The number 2 ranked Magicians hosting the number 4 ranked Demons. So you can go ahead and click on that link as we wrap up here. Tip-off time will be 7:30 for that. You've got time to grab a sandwich or two. We'd like to thank Mike King for joining us here as we wrap up tonight's live stream broadcast. Nice swims by Alex tonight, Mike. Powered through that 500. Good anchor on that 4x1 relay. Go ahead and grab the mic. You got to get home and get dinner cooked, don't you?
I already cooked it.
Little hamburger helper?
No, I made it once.
Works just fine without that hamburger, doesn't it?
Jessica says she can hear you. Jessica says she can hear you.
Tell everybody hello, Mike. All right, let's look. We might have some team results here we can get for you before we sign off. Final team scores for tonight's duel. See you, Teresa. Minot 133, Jamestown 50. Once again, thank you everybody for joining the PSP.network. Please support our sponsors, 28 Taste and Taps, Clean Tech LLC, Premier Chiropractic, the Beaupre Law Firm, and Tires Plus. Those great sponsors were helping us bring these live stream broadcasts to you during this season. There were some updates on spectator participation. I know the Minot here at the pool, we're still allowing just the 2 parents per athlete. I believe Bismarck posted some things for their upcoming, what they'll be doing for the swim meets, and you'll have to go out and check. I know Ben Lervick from the Century Activities Director posted those. I'm sure Bismarck has them on their public school site from Mr. Zittelman as well for all their sports, so you can go check those out, find them on those different sites, and see what we can do for our upcoming meets in those locations. The Magician Swimmers will be in the pool next at Williston next Friday. I'm not sure of their participation, of their spectator participation yet, so that will most likely be tweeted out on the at Magi Swim, possibly the team Facebook page as well. And as always, go Magi.com, check the swim and dive. Coach Sopel will have everything updated for you on that site as well. So we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we'll be signing off here shortly. Have a wonderful evening.